Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartoon Fridays number 14. My name is Monsters Review, and today the episode is called Why Boomerang? I will explain that in the future. I received a lot of comments on the last stream that said this wasn't really a stream, it was more of just a Q&A. It wasn't very good. It was lacking. Oh, whoops. Sorry. I don't think you guys could hear that, but I have my screen open on the watch page, so when the stream started, I started hearing myself. Anyways, so yeah, I had some comments and stuff saying that that people didn't really like it or didn't really keep their attention, and it was very bland and it wasn't very good because again, I didn't have anything on my agenda, and it was just more of just a chillax Q&A. So sorry about that. To make up for that, I have a lot of stuff to talk about today, and again, there wasn't really much to talk about. There wasn't much going on in the news. There wasn't much I could think about talking about. I mean, this is the 14th stream. Yet when I'm one person, and you're talking about one certain field, obviously the field of animation and cartoons is huge, but I don't know. I try to talk about things that are relevant to what I normally make videos about, and last week there just wasn't very much going on, or I couldn't really think of anything. With the addition that it was the holidays, so obviously I had a lot of other things to do, and my family was coming in and out of the house. So sorry about that. So let's start this week's stream. So firstly, this doesn't have to do with the name of the stream or anything, but Christine Kavanaugh, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's either Kavanaugh or Kavanaugh. I'm not sure if the GH is pronouncing an F sound or not. I'm just gonna say Christine Kavanaugh because that's how I think it's pronounced. She died. She died. She actually died on the 22nd of December, but they didn't actually release the fact, or they didn't announce her death until just a few days ago. And if you don't know who this lady is, she was the voice of Chucky in Rugrats, and she was the voice of Dexter. She was the original voice of Dexter in Dexter's Laboratory, and she also had some other voice roles in Darkwing Duck, I think it was, and in Our Real Monsters. So that's very very sad. She retired from voice acting in 2001. That's why. It wasn't initially why, but after they got done with the second season of Dexter, obviously they had like that hiatus or whatever, or it got canceled. But Christine Kavanaugh, she retired from voice acting in 2001. So when the series came back, when Dexter's Lab came back, they just replaced Dexter's voice with the new voice actress was Candy Milo, and then I forgot who replaced Chucky Finster. Um, It might have even been E.G. Daily. I know that E.G. Daily did the voice of Tommy in Rugrats. But so yeah, that's very very depressing. She has a big legacy behind her. Or she had a big legacy. She was one of the most prominent voice actresses of the 1990s, and it's depressing to know that she passed away. And excuse me. I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. It's very very. It's I don't know. She didn't really explain why she retired from voice acting, like 13 years ago, but I don't know. Very 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 sad. So first off, if any of you guys are just joining the stream or whatever, let me know how you're doing. Give me a what's up and whatnot, and I'll be sure to respond to you if you guys have anything to talk about, whether it be what I'm talking about or if you have any separate questions or if you just want to say a friendly hello. So, secondly, I want to talk about this other article that I found, and Boomerang this month is going to be premiering some new shows. Well, it's actually going to be premiering one new show, and it's going to be showing two new shows. So we still don't know when Boomerang is going to rebrand. It's they've given around dates like January 2015, and they've also given around dates like just early 2015 in general. Originally, it was supposed to be like spring of last year, but then that got moved to fall of last year. And this is 2014. It was supposed to be spring 2014, then it got moved to fall 2014, and then it got moved to spring 2015. But the majority of the changes have happened in the past few months, so I do sense that the rebrand is coming pretty near. Um, there's some scheduled time slots, and yeah, some new shows are joining. So what is it? Oh yeah, okay. So Pink Panther and Pals is replacing the Flintstones at the 11 a.m. time slot, which is 11 a.m. to noon. And so that's like an hour time slot because Boomerang doesn't really go by half-hour time slots anymore. They go by hours because, getting that non-variety schedule. So Pink Panther and Pals is replacing the Flintstones in the 11 a.m. hour. Then the Tom and Jerry show is replacing the Smurfs in the 1 p.m. hour. And then the Garfield show will replace Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends in the 2 p.m. hour, which is exactly what I've been predicting. So the Flintstones and the Smurfs, two classic 60s 70s cartoons, are getting replaced with newer variations of I mean Pink Panther is obviously an older cartoon, same with Tom and Jerry, but the Tom and Jerry show and Pink Panther and Pals are newer variations, and they're not good. They're not very good shows. They're very generic Warner Bros. Pieces of junk. So those are replacing classic shows. And then Garfield show is replacing an hour of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which, I mean, Foster's has been airing quite a lot on Boomerang, but Garfield show has been airing more, and just to know that Garfield show is becoming more prominent in the schedule on Boomerang is depressing. But don't worry, Flintstones and Smurfs are still going, and Foster's will still have their night time slots. It's just that their morning time slots and Foster's 2 p.m. Time slot be replaced will be replaced with those shows respectively. And then I had to burp, excuse me. They're also adding in some new movies into Boomerang's schedule. Unfortunately, Boomerang will also be adding in some Warner Bros. Directed DVD Scooby-Doo and Tom and Jerry movies in, such as Tom and Jerry, The Fast and the Furry, Chill Out Scooby-Doo, and those are coming in, which are some of the stuff that Cartoon Network did air. I mean, they're not really airing too much Warner Bros. Directed DVD stuff now. Now they're just airing kind of more like just Smurfs, Shark Tale, Shrek, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Adventures of Tintin. But I mean, that sucks. Nobody likes direct-to-DVD movies. I mean, I know that a lot of people don't like Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, but I mean, that's one of the only ones that I can actually tolerate. The only ones that I can pretty much tolerate are like Where's Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy, and Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. Those are the only ones that I can think of that I can tolerate. And that also sucks even more because while Scooby-Doo and Tom and Jerry have been becoming more present on the Boomerang schedule, the movies have just remained the same. Like, they've been airing Yogi Bear movies and the Powerpuff Girl movie and Dexter's Lab Ego Trip and a bunch of just old Hanna-Barbera movies and that kind of stuff, along with the Powerpuff Girls movie and Dexter's Lab Ego Trip. But now it looks like the movies are changing also. I didn't think it was going to, but with the whole rebrand coming up, they got to add more Scooby-Doo and Tom and Jerry, and they got to take out more old shows. And I mean, I don't have a problem with watching Scooby-Doo and Tom and Jerry. The only problem is they air like 4 hours of Scooby-Doo and they air 4 hours of Tom and Jerry every day. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm burping so much. But they're airing 4 hours of each of those. I don't know. That's what it was when they originally switched onto the schedule. I don't know if it's still like that anymore. But they're airing quite a few hours of each of those shows every day. And I mean, I don't have a problem with watching Scooby-Doo or Tom and Jerry. I mean, I love like Scooby Doo, Where Are You? What's New Scooby Doo? I mean, What's New Scooby Doo is pretty good. And A Pup Named Scooby Doo, also pretty good. And then Tom and Jerry, I don't really mind. I don't know. I kind of have this like I don't. It's not like a hate, but I mean, Tom and Jerry. I've seen like I don't. This sounds a little bit stupid, but there's a bunch of episodes of Tom and Jerry, and I think I've seen most, if not all of them, because last year in school, like they have TVs in my cafeteria, and normally they have one on Cartoon Network, and Tom and Jerry was always on at the time slot in which at the time in which I had lunch. So all I saw was like the same episodes all the time, and I got really mad. And now just to know that it's on Boomerang, which I used to escape to Boomerang when Cartoon Network was becoming crap. So now Boomerang is soiling itself also. So that's not good at all. So yeah, I don't have a problem with. I mean, I didn't have a problem with watching Tom and Jerry, but I don't have a problem with watching Scooby Doo. But they're so prominent on the schedule now, and there's no other Hanna-Barbera cartoons except for there's just a few time slots for the Flintstones and the Smurfs, which are like the only ones that are besides those. Tom and Jerry isn't Warner Bros. It's Metro Goldwyn Mayer, but same thing. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the same thing, but classic cartoons in general. And then also, there's this Canadian animated series called Nunchucks, and it's about these woodchucks, and yeah, it's like a karate themed thing with woodchucks, and yeah, basically I think the whole name of the show is based off of a corny pun or whatever, but it's coming on weekends at 1 p.m., which sucks because weekends are the time when they air like old Cartoon Network stuff, so blow that out of the schedule. I don't know if it's at this. I don't think it's at the same time slot, but I mean, I remember it was like 2013 or something. They were airing Almost Naked Animals and that kind of stuff on Boomerang for a small amount of time, and they were also airing that stuff on Cartoon Network, and they're also doing that with the whole with the Cartoon Planet thing. If you don't remember, Cartoon Planet was a block that Cartoon Network was airing on Friday nights where they were just airing 15-minute old Cartoon Network stuff. But that it started to get consumed by like Annoying Orange and Mad and Almost Naked Animals and Scaredy Squirrel when those shouldn't have even been a part of Cartoon Planet because they already aired several times throughout the week on that, and also they're not even regarded as classic cartoons. Or even just old cartoons in general, because they were still airing new episodes on Cartoon Network. So, I really don't like. I mean, I'm not going to just diss all Canadian cartoons because, I mean, I'm sure that I could enjoy some of them, but all of them are like animated in Flash, and they all have very, very cheap production value, and they're taking up my American Cartoon Network schedule, which is bugging me. No offense to Canadians, I love Canadians. You guys are nice. You guys have good food, including poutine, which is also very good. But also GarageBand. I mean, I didn't like this series. I just didn't like it. I remember seeing the first episode. When I made crappy videos back whenever that came out, which was like 2 years ago. I posted a review of that, and I think I said it was bad. I don't know. I remember saying that I didn't like it. A lot of people argued saying that it was like the best show ever, but I didn't like it, and the ratings show because apparently a lot of other people didn't like it, and the show got canceled shortly. No, I don't think it was shortly after, but just like a few months, not a few like as in two, but like it wasn't several months either, just like months after it premiered, it got canceled. And well, it got put on hiatus, but then it got canceled, and then it became a whole part of the Cartoon Network Online initiative, and then that went to crap, and yeah, it wasn't good. So that's also going to be airing at the 1:30 time slot. So So the 1 p.m. hour on Boomerang is now going to be Canadian cartoons, which is I don't know how I feel about that. I don't they don't belong on Boomerang. I can tell you that much. Might I add you? They're probably not very good shows. I already know that I don't like GarageBand, but I'm sure that Nunchucks probably isn't that great either, from what I can tell. But yeah. And then it also says weekend afternoons, 3 p.m. Cartoon Theater, and the 5 to 7 p.m. rotation of Cartoon Network's classics gets replaced with two back-to-back episodes of What's New Scooby-Doo, the Looney Tunes Show, and Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It also moves up to the 6 p.m. hour with more What's New Scooby-Doo in the 7 p.m. hour. So that means that I actually didn't know this. I checked the article. I guess I didn't read that. That means that all of Cartoon Network's originals, except for Foster's and like Chowder, the weekends where they had like Camp Lazlo and Courage and Billy Mandy and stuff, apparently got erased off the schedule. That's what it says in this report. I don't know if that's true or not. I can check quick. But if so, that's really, really bad. Excuse me. Doesn't show it here. Let's check all the way to the 10th. Okay. All right. So this is the last the 3rd and 4th of January. So this weekend is going to be the last weekend to have the Cartoon Network originals on there, which includes Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Camp Lazlo, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dexter's Laboratory. Yeah. So actually Sunday at 4 p.m. they're airing Dexter's Lab Ego Trip. And then Saturday, I don't know what they're doing, but oh, they're airing Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers. So you see, they're already doing the whole I think the I don't know if the Boo Brothers is an old one or not, but they're airing a Scooby-Doo direct to I think that's direct to DVD, but I'm not sure. But they're airing that tomorrow, and they're airing another Scooby Goes Hollywood 3 p.m. tomorrow. But that's horrible. Just think about it. All right. Boomerang's been airing these Cartoon Network classics on the weekends for one giant time slot in the morning and then one giant time slot at night on Saturday and Sundays. Now that's getting replaced with even more Scooby-Doo, even more Tom and Jerry. That's ridiculous. I've already been complaining at how much Boomerang has been airing like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and Scooby-Doo. And just to know that it's getting replaced with more Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, and Looney Tunes is the worst thing ever. Literally, the only cartoons that remain that are like Cartoon Network originals are Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Chowder. And I mean, those aren't fair. Those aren't fairly new or fairly old, but I mean they kind of are at the same time. Well, I mean, excluding those are the only old ones. And wait, no, actually, Powerpuff Girls still has a time slot in the afternoon, but that's it. But they're still airing Teen Titans Go and Amazing World of Gumball on Boomerang, along with those new Canadian cartoons. This is an outrage. Do you guys not understand this? This is horrible. This is horrible. I just want you guys to think about it for a second. They're erasing all of the Cartoon Network originals off of Boomerang, and they're replacing it with all of these crappy Canadian cartoons and more Tom and Jerry, which we don't need. And yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. Hold on a sec. All right, sorry about that. I was just looking up something. Oh, what year is it? Pumpkin Phone? It's 2015. Well, I mean, I think it'd be 2015 for everybody in the world now. I was gonna say depending on your area, but now that it's the January 2nd, almost January 3rd, so it's definitely 2015. Hey, Louis Holiday, how you doing? What happened to Boomerang exactly? Do you think the CN Flicks got canceled? No, I didn't. Yes, obviously, um, yes, obviously, Over the Garden Wall is going to be airing. I think their entire series on. It's either they're airing the entire series on Sunday and Saturday, or they're airing the entire series throughout Saturday and Sunday. I forgot which one it was. I can check quickly though. Um, yeah. I think they're airing. I think they're airing the entire 10-part series of Over the Garden Wall on Saturday and on Sunday night. So, um, to answer your question, do you think the Flicks got canceled? No, I don't think it did because I actually looked into next weekend's schedule, not this one, the next ones, and they're airing Shrek and stuff. So I mean, that's normal seeing Flick stuff. I just don't think that they're going to air movies this weekend, which is very unusual. But I think that I mean, I obviously can't predict that like Flicks is over because I mean, who knows? It could change or whatever. Um, but personally, I just think it's just they're going a weekend without movies, and then instead they're going to air the entire series of Over the Garden Wall, which is a refreshing take on the on having just the usual Cartoon Network movies that they air, the usual DreamWorks and crap that they air every weekend. So I mean, it's good to add in some new stuff, add in some variety. Um, but so yeah, the next weekend they're going to be airing Shrek and stuff again on the weekend. So I could only assume that they're going to have Flicks bumpers again and stuff. But I mean, who knows? You know, they could change. But my guess is no. It's most likely not going to change, and it's just going back to Flicks. It's just going to be a weekend without movies. Why don't you like Gumball? Have you seen season two? Check out season two. But then, of course, your opinions are different. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what the word subjective mean, that just means that the opinions vary, and obviously it depends on someone's taste. Personally, just for my taste, I'm not a fan of Gumball. That's me though. I mean I admired the art style. I really love the blend of 2D and 3D. I just personally I don't know. I have a very I don't know. I don't know. I just have a very low attention span for watching that show, and I'm not very fond of the humor, and I don't know. I lose interest in it very much, and I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Gumball, but I mean there is some good qualities about it. I will admit. And if you guys remember when I would be close to the Super Bowl time and Cartoon Network would show a cartoon Super Bowl like Roadrunner versus Coyote. I don't remember that, but that's just me. Um, you like GarageBand? Oh. Hey Skyvolt X, how you doing, man? What happened to Boomerang? Boomerang is changing up a lot. They're preparing for a rebrand that they're supposed to have either A this month or B sometime this year. I mean, they said the same thing. They were supposed to rebrand in 2014, but they never did. Um, that's just so yeah. Basically, they're replacing all of the Cartoon Network originals that air on the weekends with more Tom and Jerry and Scooby Doo, and they're adding in more to the movie rotation. They used to air just like movies from old Hanna-Barbera cartoons and stuff. Now it's going to be a lot of Scooby-Doo direct-to-DVD movies and Tom and Jerry direct-to-DVD movies, and so yeah, and then they're also adding in Canadian programming such as GarageBand and Nunchucks, and Gumball and Teen Titans Go is already on the Boomerang schedule, which isn't very good because that's not Boomerang. Boomerang is the slogan is "It's all coming back to you," and it's supposed to be a class. The whole reason why Boomerang was made was because by the time Boomerang was created, there was barely any, if not none, old Hanna-Barbera classic cartoons that were on Boomerang, which were or on Cartoon Network, which was because when Cartoon Network started out in 1992, it was basically just okay. So Turner, which is the parent company of Cartoon Network, it was either late 80s or early 90s, acquired all of these acquired the it was either the Warner Bros and Hanna-Barbera libraries of classic cartoons. So basically they proposed a 24-hour all cartoons channel, which was apparently appealing to adults and to kids. So, well, not apparently, it was. So they created that, but then Cartoon Network started to start airing their cartoons, and they started having all these original series, which eventually consumed the time slot and left no more time for old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So basically, Boomerang, which is it's not like on standard cable, it's like a digital channel. Anyways, that was created to showcase all of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons, but now Boomerang and Cartoon Network are both consumed by pretty much crap. The shows that air the most on Boomerang now are variations of Scooby-Doo, variations of Tom and Jerry, variations of Looney Tunes, and The Garfield Show. The Garfield Show isn't even an old show. It's a CG take. It's a recent CG take on Garfield. I'm not a fan of it. That's just me though. I mean, I love like the old, like 90s animated Garfield movies and stuff, but I don't like the Garfield Show. That's just me. Very low production value. Lacks a lot. The show isn't entertaining at all. And then obviously, I mean, Tom and Jerry. It's not working for me anymore. That's just me though. I mean, obviously people love Tom and Jerry to death. I mean, I like it too. It's just that I can't really see too much of it anymore because I've gotten sick and tired of watching it so much. And then Scooby-Doo. That's also very prominent. I mean, I've seen like pretty much every single Scooby-Doo series that I can think of, and all of it. But just seeing it air all day on Boomerang sucks because it's like I mean, it's a mainstream classic show in terms of just like If you think about it, Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, and Tom and Jerry are like the most popular old TV show franchises there are. More than any other one, and that's why they keep having new variations today. Obviously, there were other shows like the Flintstones and stuff that were popular, but they weren't as popular as the mass franchises that Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, and Scooby-Doo created. And the reason why Boomerang is airing those is because they're becoming demographically targeted, and basically Boomerang doesn't care about variety or adding spice or anything. Like any other business, they want to make a lot of money. So basically what they're doing is they're just adding in a bunch of shows that would appeal to a more general audience rather than diehard cartoon fans such as myself. So instead of adding in a lot of variety and adding in a lot of old shows and stuff, they're just airing the generic mainstream classic cartoons that everybody's seen a million times. Which just makes it feel like another channel rather than something special, which Boomerang once was. So it's not very good. And then Boomerang's again also adding in Cartoon Network stuff which shouldn't even be happening. Obviously, Boomerang has had stuff like that in the past where they've aired Ben 10 Omnitrix and Ben 10 Alien Force and Johnny Test and that kind of stuff, and that's never good to see. And that's not what Boomerang should be doing, but it looks like that's the direction it's heading in. And I predicted a year ago that Boomerang was just going to hit the crapper or even just hit the bucket in my eyes, and seems to be heading in that direction. And it seems like Boomerang's just heading towards that more like general demographic. It's like not even caring about its diehard fans anymore. It's just like, we're going to try to get as much people watching this as possible, and we're going to try to make as much money as possible. But you know what? Screw you guys. We're just going to air the same shows all day so that everybody will watch it all day. But that's not how it works, Cartoon Network. That was a long tangent. uh, yeah, Boomerang is becoming a big mess. And I know that Boomerang's been a big topic in a lot of my streams recently. I apologize, but I mean, there has been a lot of news that have been or new things that Turner has announced about Boomerang. So it's become a frequent topic with its whole new rebrand coming up that looks like crap. It looks like Cartoon Network. Check it. So, it is a big mess. Do you think that they have the rights to air the original Dragon Ball Z and Hamtaro, Ruino Kenshin? I'm sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing Asian names. Yu Yu Hakusho. Um, I think you meant to say Ronin Warriors. Bo. Sailor Moon, Rave Masters on Toonami. Um, well, I don't know. I mean, I would be able to tell you if I was like an executive at Turner or something. But obviously, it's an opinionated question. Do I think they do? I don't know. Maybe they do. I mean, certain licenses happen, and I mean, when I'm pretty sure when you get the rights to a show, basically the network acquires a license which allows them to air the show for X amount of years or whatever, or X amount of months, and for old shows like that. And if that were the case, I'm not sure if that's how airing like shows works. But if it does work like that, then I'd assume that they no longer have the rights to air those shows. But I mean, they could always reacquire the rights. And plus, I mean, obviously those are fairly old shows. I mean, now we have the internet, and obviously you can watch all of those there. But I mean, a lot of people tell me, you know what? Why are you complaining about your favorite shows not airing on TV anymore? Why don't you just watch them on the internet? You can find them on iTunes. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on websites, and you know what? You can just watch them at your own expense. You can just stop complaining about Cartoon Network because you can just find them there. And you know what I have to say about that? No. Because obviously the TV channel still exists. And, I mean, as much as I have grown to become a participant of the internet, before I was on the internet a lot, you know, all I had as a mean of entertainment was TV. And I mean, I'm sure that there's kids that are still in the same situation, kids that don't have the internet, that only have TV. Or, well, I mean, obviously I've had the internet my entire life. It's just that, like, you know, I didn't start, like, making videos and stuff until later on in my childhood. And just, you know, I even have a TV on right now. It's, Disney Channel, but I didn't even turn it on there. My brother did, but you know, it's just like you know, just think about that. Like, obviously, internet's becoming a big thing, and a lot of kids of the new generation are growing up to have the internet be a big part of their life. But I mean, I wasn't allowed to use the internet as a kid. I mean, I was allowed to use my computer, but I didn't really do anything on it because I didn't know. Number one, I didn't know how to do anything, and number two, obviously, there wasn't much to do on the internet 15 years ago. So, yeah, just look at it from a different perspective. I mean, some kids the only mean of entertainment that they have is the TV, or they're a kid that likes to watch a lot of TV, and they want to look for something new, or they want to have something good to watch. If you air the same things all the time, then it's not going to work like that. It's not going to be good. If you see the same things all the time, even if you're a fan of it or not, you want to see something new. You want to see something. You want to see something different. You want to see something extravagant. You want to see something that keeps your attention. And when Cartoon Network is so bland and is the same thing all the time and is just an atrocity, it's a turnoff. You don't want to watch it anymore. And that's what I've come to notice recently. And I mean, that also just enforcing like some of my things. Stuart Snyder ripped out most of my favorite shows within like a year, and Cartoon Network still has the ability to do all that stuff. And I mean, I don't really care by this point if they're on Boomerang or Cartoon Network, but but when Cartoon Network does tend to treat its old shows, they normally give it an extremely minimal effort or very low treatment, and they normally deal with those kind of endeavors in a wrong way that make this show not very good. Um, for example, Cartoon Planet. I mean, for the year of 20, they introduced it in early 2012 in celebration of Cartoon Network's 20th birthday. So for an hour on Friday nights, it was like at 8 p.m. or something. They would just, which was like the last time slot. Um, they had all of those old cartoons like Dexter. They basically had every single cartoon from like Dexter's Lab up to like Chowder and Flapjack. Uh, and they just had like 15-minute episodes, single episodes, just like a variety of those shows air within that time slot. And then it was hosted by Bracken Zorak from Space Ghost. So that was the thing. And then in 2013, it started to get corrupt because things like Problem Solvers and Secret Mount Fort Awesome and Almost Naked Animals and that kind of stuff started getting added into the mix. And then it eventually got consumed by like Mad and Annoying Orange airing episodes in that time slot when they already aired several other times throughout the weekend, and it just turned into a whole mess because Cartoon Network doesn't give their old shows good treatment. Even just Warner Bros. In general, like Courage the Cowardly Dog season 2, the DVD main menu is horrible and it's crap. It looks like something that it looks like the CEO of Dollar Tree would make. No offense, I don't even know that the CEO of Dollar Tree. And no offense to Dollar Tree or anything, but I mean it's just like very generic and it was crappy. And it's just Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends season 3. There's not even a main menu, no special features, no inserts, and the packaging was an extremely cheap plastic. Like they don't put any heart into old stuff. They just look at it as like old rejected trash. And if Cartoon Network was in the right guidance, then things wouldn't end up like that. You know what I mean? What do you think Christina Miller is? What do you think Christina Miller that is doing good for something as of now? I think you're trying to say, what do you think Christina Miller? What do you think she's done that's been beneficial since she went into office a year ago almost? That's more just like a half year ago, but I don't know really. I mean, nothing's changed. If anything, it's kind of gotten a little worse. Not Cartoon Network is still kind of like the same, and it's still not great. But I mean, Boomerang has deteriorated greatly in the past year. I mean, some people could look at it as a sign of improvement, but I mean, how? How could you look at it as improvement? It's getting the same look as Cartoon Network, which isn't even good, and it's been the same crappy look for what? Almost five years now? Almost 5 years? And I mean, obviously, Check It has had different variations in looks, but I mean, just the main concept has just been crap. And then not only that is, but also it's getting consumed by mainstream classics that we've all already seen, and they don't have any variety anymore. And it's also getting demographically based, and they're airing advertisements now, and they're adding in new Cartoon Network shows and Canadian shows into a network that's supposed to air old cartoons. So it's very depressing, and Christina Miller hasn't done anything to help stop it. If not, she's only enforcing it, which is making matters worse. And also, feel free to tell me what you guys think. You actually like the first season. I'm not sure if I like it more than the second, but if you haven't seen the second season, you should check it out, or third. I mean, I'll give it a look, I guess. If they're airing Sailor Moon on Toonami, it better not be the crappy DIC dub, and should not use the new uncut Viz dub. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember watching Sailor Moon on Toonami. I didn't start watching Toonami till like 2000, maybe 2004. I mean, obviously, I wasn't like I was only very very little into my childhood. I was only, you know, I was still in elementary school, but I don't know. I used to get kind of like I wasn't scared, but I didn't watch a lot of more mature, um, different animated things. I just watched, like standard cartoons at that point in my childhood. Um, can we talk about animated Disney shows? Which ones? Like Phineas and Ferb, Gravity Falls, 7D. Um, which ones? I don't know if there's much to talk about. I used to watch Phineas and Ferb a lot, but I haven't seen it in like 5 years, and I've only seen a few episodes of Gravity Falls, and I haven't really seen anything. I've seen like one episode of Wonder Over Yonder, and I haven't seen like anything from the 70. Um, why isn't there any crossovers on Cartoon Network between Adventure Time and regular show? Because they don't like variety and they don't like to do things differently, and they don't like to take things to the extreme, and they don't like to make things extravagant. Everything has to be so standard. The last crossover that I can think of was between it was I think it was Ben 10 Omniverse and the Secret Saturdays. They had a even though the Secret Saturdays has been off the air for like 5 years now, they've been or they had a little crossover that featured the Secret Saturdays, and it also had Ben 10 Omniverse in there. But as many of you know, Ben 10 Omniverse just recently ended in November of last year. And Ben 10 Omniverse also had a crossover with Generator Rex. But yeah, it's not. Cartoon Network back in like 2005 or six had a bunch of inside jokes, and episodes always featured like cameos of characters from other shows. Like I was even just watching. If you guys didn't know already, I did a review on the third season DVD of Foster from Imaginary Friends. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. But anyways, I was watching it the other night, and I believe it's the first episode of season 3. It's called Eddie Monster. It's basically where Mac's older brother Terrence takes in Eduardo and makes him this big tough dude, and there's a cameo from Ed and Eddie. They don't look like they do from the show, but it's like three characters that basically are look just like Ed and Eddie, and they don't talk or say anything, but they just have like a little cameo in there. And I noticed it, and I thought it looked really cool. And they even just did stuff like that too, like Johnny Bravo and Billy and Mandy featured like Fred Flintstone and Yogi Bear in a few episodes and stuff. And it's just like it was a little like intertwined kind of like inside joke network where characters would break the fourth wall with each other from other Cartoon Network shows and stuff. But they don't do that anymore, and it really sucks. But at the same time, I don't feel like the shows of today's generation really could done that. I don't know. Like I don't. I feel like a crossover between Adventure Time and another show wouldn't really fit like together. I don't know why. It's just like, obviously it's nothing personal, but I couldn't see it happening. The only show that I could see Adventure Time crossing over with is Bravest Warriors, and that's just because they share a very similar art style. The Adventure Time art style and just like the creativeness of it is very, very distinct, and it's kind of hard to match up with another show. And plus, Adventure Time has a very, again, like different concept and distinctiveness that a lot of other shows that are on Cartoon Network. Well, it might even be able to cross over with Steven Universe because they kind of share a similar concept, but I don't know. It just seems a little different. I could see though, like maybe Gumball crossing over with Clarence. I don't know. I feel like that could be a thing. All right. Also, do you think that Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon will show a marathon of Dexter's Lab and Rugrats out of respect for Christine? No, they probably won't. Yeah, I don't think they will. Her death already happened, but I mean, I haven't seen anything. The only thing I think I saw was Cartoon Network posting like or no. I saw the '90s are all that, which is like the '90s block that airs on Teen Nick. They posted they posted a tweet that said I can't even talk. They posted a tweet that said uh like condolences to Kristen Kavanaugh, whatever. But I think I saw Cartoon Network post something about that on their Facebook page. I'm not sure if they did though, or not. I think I saw them do it, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think they did. Yeah, they didn't post anything about it. I don't know if they tweeted anything about it, but they definitely didn't post anything about it on their Facebook page. Um, Hold on, let me check their Twitter. Cartoon Network, boom. All right, then I want to check their public relations Twitter. I think it's called Cartoon Network PR. Yep, they haven't posted anything about it. I'm not sure if Nickelodeon itself did, but I know that the '90s are all that did. And they said Kristen Kavanaugh, the voice of Chucky Finster, has passed away. Condolences, all that other stuff. So yeah. Here's a bumper. I'll check that out later, I guess. But oh yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah. Again, live action. I mean, you could even just consider like there shouldn't be human life. There should be human life forms on a cartoon channel. Just in general, it's out of place. I mean, obviously, Cartoon Network Fridays was hosted by people, but that's because they were surrounded by cartoons and just the set and everything, and they still aired city bumpers and stuff around that same time. So, I mean, it was accompanied by a bunch of cartoons and crap, which made it feel natural. But just and plus, I mean, it was just I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't like I love Fridays. I just I didn't like the bumper that you just linked the Happy Holidays Cartoon Network one that you just had. Old shows on Disney Channel like Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, Dave the Barbarian, Gargoyles, House of Mouse, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Timon and Pumbaa. I think that's what that show was called. Some of my favorites, I liked House of Mouse and Dave the Barbarian. Those are probably my two favorite old cartoons. I know that there's also like Lilo and Stitch and stuff. I was a fan of them, but not really. Those weren't my favorites. But still haven't caught up with Gravity Falls. Oh, it's okay that you're late. I don't think it's almost over. We probably got like roughly 10 minutes left. Yeah. What have we been talking about? We've been talking about some Boomerang's new exchanges. The unfortunate death of Christine Kavanaugh, who is the voice of Chucky Finster and Dexter in Dexter's Lab. And if you want, I guess once the stream is over, you can like rewatch it because that's what I normally have it posted as a video. So I guess you can rewatch the first part of it if you want to, really. But yeah, that's just basically a summary of what just happened. What do you think Cartoon Network is going to be like in 2016 or 17? If it continues on this trend, then it's going to be worse. 2005 was one of the most memorable years in Cartoon Network's history. I know many episodes of Billy, Mandy, and Foster's that had many references. Yep. Sorry about your grammar. It's okay. Have you seen Liquid Plaza Turbo? Yeah. I saw that right after it came out, and I also posted a little review on that. I posted a review to most of them. I posted a review to those little pilots that came out. I posted a review to Liquid Plaza Turbo, to the Steven Universe pilot, to the Steven Universe pilot, and to the Clarence pilot. But I saw the other ones too, like there was Mars Safari, there was I think it was called my science something my science project or something like that. And there was another one that I can't currently think, or I don't know if there was another one. I'm pretty sure there was another one, but I can't think of it at the moment. Um, so yeah, I have seen Liquid Plasma Turbo. That was my favorite pilot out of all of them. Oh, the phone's ringing. Let me check it quick. Oh, it's my mom. Hold on a sec. Hello? Hello? Good, how are you? Awkward. Sorry about that. I had to answer that quick. So yeah, I have seen Liquid Plasma Turbo. That was my favorite. That was my favorite pilot out of all of them. It reminded me a lot of like Dragon Ball and stuff. It was created by Ian. His name is like Ian Jones Quarry or something like that. He works on Steven Universe. He's like a character designer or something, or lead artist or something. But he produced a really good pilot. I really like the concept of Liquid Plasma Turbo. It's very very unique, and I thought it could have been a really really successful series. And that was also another. A lot of other people really like that pilot. It has a bunch of different influences, and it just altogether was a great pilot. And I don't see how Cartoon Network didn't recognize it as being a good pilot, because that was my favorite one, and that was a lot of other people's favorites. But they chose Clarence and Steven Universe as the two victors of that whole competition. But you believe they could get better as long as they keep making more original cartoon shows. They'll be fine. Well, I mean, they haven't announced any, and they seem to be going on like a social media trend where they just focus on like apps and stuff in the internet and that kind of stuff. And then they're also importing a lot of new acquired shows, which I get isn't good very very much. Yeah, I mean, she is having a bad start because obviously she's left with the responsibility of having to pick up the mess that Stuart Steiner made. But um, who knows? She could add to the mess, or she could pick it up. She could do either of those two. Again, she hasn't even been in office for more than a year. I mean, I could probably give a solid opinion of her. When this August, when that marks her first year of being in office. But who knows? She could change. So yeah. Do you think that website is a scam? I'm not gonna go to it because it probably is a scam. But yeah. Stuart Center ruined your childhood. Yeah, he ruined a lot of people's childhoods. I'm not sure how long this is going to be, to be honest. Um, what's your opinion on a new Transformers show? Um, I mean, I wasn't a fan of some of the. I wasn't a fan of Transformers Animated, which was a show that they aired like in the late 2000s on Cartoon Network. It was apparently a Cartoon Network original. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that it was, which is a little bit surprising, because I would imagine it was being made by Hasbro or something. I can check that quick. Transformers Animated. Yeah, it was produced by Cartoon Network Studios. So yeah, it was a Cartoon Network original. So yeah, I was right. Excuse me. I wasn't a fan of that, but I was a fan of Transformers Cybertron. I remember when I used to get up at like 6 a.m. and stuff, I would just sit down and watch that while eating breakfast. They used to air in like the 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. time slot back in like 2007 or something like that. But it was a really good show. It was a jolly good show. That was a really bad Pops impression. But yeah, I really liked Transformers Cybertron. That was a good series. But For new series, it depends. Again, I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's probably going to be CG, knowing, new acquired shows. But um, honestly, in your opinion, Cartoon Network has been improving lately in terms of original programming compared to the late 2000s live action era, but the lack of variety is still killing them. Yeah, it is killing them. But I mean, I don't know. Um, I believe Cartoon Network maybe had the same, if not possibly more, original shows back then. I'd have to check. Hold on a sec. Thank God, if I didn't have this like lightning fast computer, then it would be I'd be having like 5 minute breaks trying to look something up. Um, so yeah, around the late 2000s, they had shows running like Shouter, and they also had Transformers animated, Flapjack, Secret Saturdays, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, Generator Rex. Well, no, those Generator Rex and Ben 10 Ultimate Alien didn't premiere until 2010, but now they have like a regular show, Adventure Time, Gumball, Clarence, Steven Universe. But I mean, yeah, I mean there probably is more original shows now. The only problem and plus there was live action, which was really crappy back in the late 2000s. But I do applaud the late 2000s for for also having action shows, because there was a fairly good blend between action and comedy. But now there's no action at all. Action is non-existent on Cartoon Network except for Pokemon Tenkai Nights and Sonic Boom and Lego shows. Lego doesn't even count because those are just crap. And then Sonic Boom, it's not even like, I mean, it's like it's like a comedic action show, which is apparently, I don't know, it has some action to it, but it's more of a comedy. Same with Teen Titans Go. It's a comedy, but it has a little bit of action in it. And then Tenkai Nights is primarily action, and same with Pokemon. But it's very very it's non-intensive action, if that's a term. I mean, things like Megas XLR and stuff, and Generator Rex would get pretty deep, and especially even like Ben 10 and stuff, they would get pretty deep in the stuff that they were doing. Trying to think of another action show. Well, no, even when they had like Tsunami and stuff, and Maguzi, all of them, like, you could take them seriously. There were some episodes that were light, some episodes that were dark, and altogether it made a great show. But I mean, again, it's like SpongeBob too. It's like I have no attention span for SpongeBob because it's just all like SpongeBob giggling, and if SpongeBob is like pouting or something, you can't take it seriously because he's like constantly just always happy and stuff, and it's going to only be temporary when he's sad, because he's always going to get happy and start dancing or something, It's like, same thing goes for Teen Titans Go. It's like a very, very low attention span for it. Why does Stuart Snyder think the opposite of what children want? Because he does what he wants, and he wants to do what makes money, and he just had the wrong envisionment. The people that watched Cartoon Network didn't want to see live action, and he thought that would garner money because networks like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel had live action and cartoons, and they were getting more money, I guess, than Cartoon Network was at the time. So he switched it all around, but it ended up by making Cartoon Network worse than it already had became at that point. Do you remember this Cartoon Network bumper in 2005 and 6? It was called The Lunchbox of Doom, that showed Naruto, Camp Lazlo, Foster from Imaginary Friends, Mike and Partners Monkey, Coding Kids Next Door. I personally don't remember that. That's just again, that's me. I'm sure that some other people do remember it, including yourself, but I personally don't remember it. Pardon me. Hold on, I'll get back to some of your questions soon. All right. Do you think there will be a new version of Tom after The Intruder 2? What's The Intruder 2? Isn't that like a special or something that's airing? I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Or is the intruder the thing that that's been going on where like in the new bumpers and stuff where they recently entered that new planet? I'm not sure uh, what that is. Cybertron was an awesome show. Yeah, Cybertron was an awesome show. I remember when Jim Samples became the president in 2001, and he brought out the Amazing City era bumpers. And but what still hurts me to this day was that the City era was way too short. There's literally no original programming that premiered throughout 2009, and yeah, that was the worst year in 2000 or in 2000. That was the worst year in Cartoon Network history, and yeah, many Teletoon shows spammed up. Um, but yeah. The city era was only prominent from June of 2004 to like mid 2006. In 2006 in mid 2006 they started airing Yes bumpers, which primarily took up the city. I mean, they did kind of have some city bumpers here and there, and then they also did have some similarly styled city bumpers. They weren't quite city, but they were kind of city at the same time. That they aired basically like that until fall of 2007. Well, yes only went for a little bit, and then they they basically they were airing a little bit of city stuff, but they were airing more just stuff that it was kind of city, but wasn't really from the original city. Until they had the fall rebrand, or until they had the summer 2007 rebrand. Actually, my mistake. But or not the rebrand. It was the new era. But yeah, that stuff was good. All right. Hey guys, sorry about that. My family just got home, and obviously it's a big loud thing. I'll quickly respond to the rest of your questions. Um, did you know the original TMNT from 2003 is airing on Nicktoons? Yes, I have. I've been watching it. Well, keep in mind there are some people out there who weren't into action shows and they just like comedy. So yeah. All right. See you later, Apex. I gotta go too in a little bit. Did Naruto air on Maguzi? Yes, it did. Um, oh yeah, SpongeBob head is completely bad nowadays. I thought the first three seasons in the movie were best at times. Did you see any seasons episodes after the first movie that you thought were okay? Some episodes from the fourth and fifth season were, in my opinion, decent, but other than that, no. Did Why does Nick shove SpongeBob down our throats? I'm not sure. um, yeah, he should have asked us, like, kind of give us like a big pick thing where there's a bunch of pilots and let us choose rather than let him choose, you know. So yeah, 2009 was bad, and if you guys have any more questions, feel free to answer them once the stream is done in the comments of the video once that goes up, of the video portion of the stream. If you guys haven't already, be free to, or feel free to check out the Christmas week thing that I have. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name is Monster Review. Have a spectacular weekend.